This is 7 hikes in 7 days. You all know I like a good challenge, and on this one, I want to complete 7 hikes in 7 days. Some easy, some hard, but just making sure I get out and I'm out walking, getting some exercise, and just enjoying the natural wonder of the world that we live in. Now, for those who don't know, I broke my ankle about this time last year and had quite a messy recovery. Due to that, my fitness levels dropped. I was already a chunky monkey by that point, but I was reasonably fit for the size of me. But since then, my fitness levels have gone down to virtually zero. And I struggle now with long distance hikes, and I struggle with multi-days. In fact, I haven't done a multi-day since breaking my ankle. Anybody who's been following the channel for a while knows that I love a good challenge. So this week, in the spirit of trying to help myself lose weight and trying to get out and be active more, and just trying to preserve some degree of sanity with my mental health, I've decided to set myself a new challenge. So each day this week, for the next 7 days, I want to get some degree of a hike in. It might only be a short one, like today. I think it's 2.5 miles to 3 miles we're doing today. It might be something longer, say 6 or 7 miles. I've got a few routes planned, but I'll decide what I want to do on the day. But more than anything, it's just to make sure I'm getting out of the house. And like I said, I'm getting out for each of the next 7 days. I'm going to try and have a bit of variety in the videos and where I'm hiking. And then I will add them all together in one giant montage, and then obviously if you're watching this, that will be what you're now watching. Each video I'm going to try and keep something a bit interesting in it. Like I said, I'm going to try and have a mixture of local stuff with some stuff in the hills, maybe some beach walks, some river walks. Today I'm at Barton Airfield walking around it, so hopefully we should get some bits of plane footage, stuff like that, some of the small little biplanes, and obviously share a bit of B-roll, a bit of cinematics. We're testing out the DJI Action 4 today. It's a camera I have bought with my own money to go with, along with the DJI Action 2 that we already have. Just makes it a bit easier if we've got a couple of cameras for just getting different aspects while we're filming. So it's just a little short one today, 2.5 miles to get us going on day one and limber us up. Like I said, I'm going to do a big mixture of longer ones and shorter ones. I'm not at a point where I can do anything like a 10-mile one yet, but I've also not done anything multi-day in probably 5 years, so this is where the challenge is. And then hopefully by stepping it up each day within the next few weeks, we should be able to get some 10-milers in again. So now coming down past the end of the runway, but as you can see, there's a lot of bushes, there isn't a great deal you can actually see here. So it's just a case of just walking down this lovely farmer's driveway that we're on. Follow this road down, then we're onto the main road, and then we're going to stop off quickly at the airport, grab a little bit of something to eat, maybe a drink, and then back to the car. We're about halfway round now. There isn't, like I said, a great deal more to see from this side. I will bring you back when we get to the airport and I'll show you a few of the features and stuff that's there. It's another one of them things, if you're ever in the area, definitely come and check it out. It's a really, really good day out. Everybody sees all the big planes, they're cluttering the sky up all the time, and these little ones are just, they're crazy to watch. And the people that fly them are equally as crazy. But yeah, it's quite a cool little place, and they have lots of little events on, things like that. But yeah, no, I like it. It's nice and local for us. It's about a 5-10 minute drive. I think it's 3 miles away from my house, so it's been a good little hike. Something that I think is going to sort of hit more my day-to-day hikes, so I don't have a great deal of time, but you could probably complete this in about an hour, maybe an hour and 10 minutes, so it's the sort of thing I can fit in most days. Cheers. So that, as you can see now, we're leaving Barton Aerodrome. That's day one's hike out the way and in the bag. Holcombe Hill today, so I'm going to do Peel Tower and Pilgrim's Cross. I'm going to go up the steep route rather than the road route because I'm clearly a glutton for punishment. The stairs are a lot more corroded than last time we came. It's been clearly a lot of rainfall down them, but we'll see how we get on. I've never done Pilgrim's Cross before. I didn't even know it was there till about a month ago, something like that. It's a hill I know very well. I used to live just down the road from it, so I used to be able to walk it from my front door. So just got to the next stage at path. As you can see, there is a road. There's actually a house up at the top. So this is your conventional route up that most people take. It's the easiest route. You've also got an alternative route up here. I have a funny story about that route. I'll tell you that in a minute. I'm going up that thing because I'm a glutton for punishment. So I'll tell you the story about this other path, and then I will I'll film some bits of me dying on the way up the big hill. So this path down here, I've always been a bit of an avid mountain biker. I'm not the best, I'm no pro mountain biker by any means, but I used to use this trail all the time. This was a bit of a practice run, nice and local for me, and I just got myself a new Saracen mountain bike. Very proud of it I was. It was absolutely my pride and joy. I put my heart and soul into that bike, put all the parts on myself, hand built it. So cycles all the way up this path because it's the easiest path up, and don't let the video fool you, it's still pretty steep for pedalling up. So gets to the top, cycles over the top, and we're doing a loop down here. I'm about 5 miles away from my dad's house here, maybe a little bit less, maybe it might be a bit of an exaggeration, probably more like 3 miles. So I was staying at my dad's house that day, so I'd come up with my stepbrother and I was hurtling down here, and when I was a little kid this was like, I had water running down. It was exactly a waterfall, but when it was wet I would have water down, and because of that it corrodes a lot. So it's quite well filled in now compared to what it used to be like. If I show you the path that I've just come up, on that day it was a lot more similar to that sort of thing. So very rutted up, big drops, and that's why I used to like riding down it, because I'd want the drop-offs and it was a little bit more fun. So anyway, I've digressed. So comes hurtling down this hill on my brand new Saracen mountain bike I'm proud of. Gets about to where you can see that corner there, where you can't see the path anymore, and there's a big massive rut between two slabs. So I goes in thinking I'll thread the needle through it. I'd noticed it late, so I wouldn't be able to bunny hop it. Gets my front wheel stuck in it. I'm straight over the handlebars and halfway down this hill here. Didn't get hurt because it's quite padded with all the bushes and stuff. Gets up, gets to my bike, and my wheel is bent on an angle like that, 90 degrees. No, like I said, 3 miles away from my dad's house. It's the closest port of contact I've got. We're looking, if I was 15, so about the year 2000, so mountain bikes back then weren't what they are today, so it was heavy. I'm pretty sure from what I remember as well, I had a steel frame, which to be fair I've got now, but yeah, it was a heavy bike, and the wheels are heavy, your brakes are heavy, basically it was just heavy. So I had to lump this bike up onto my shoulders because it won't wheel, front wheel's bent in half. Carries it right down the rest of the hill, and see if I can get to the view. I probably can see my dad's house from here. That little town over there, where there's the little patch of houses, pretty sure that's where it is, and it's the far side of that. I had to lump that big heavy bike on my shoulders from here right the way to there. It's downhill, but it's not an easy walk, and it sort of goes to show how much of a big part of my life this hill's been over the years. It's one of the first hills I ever climbed, and it's something I do not as frequent as I'd like. Even when I lived here, we very rarely came up, but it's a spectacular little hill, and the views off it over Manchester and stuff are incredible. You can park down at the bottom. I think it's about a mile to the top, and it's steep in places, but if you follow the roadway up, it's nice and easy. Or if you want, you can do it shorter, and you can come up some of these more direct routes like I'm doing today. I don't think I've ever actually done this route. I tend to go up the waterfall route. Just stop for a minute to take in the view, and I've realised that when I was telling you my little story a minute ago, I was actually wrong with where I told you my dad's house is. So we've got all this down here is Ramsbottom. All up here, this is all Holcombe Brook. Behind that, that's Summerseat over there. So go this way. You got where the road, you see the road fork up there, down at the bottom there, that's Brandlesome. I used to live down there. Farther on from Brandlesome, you can see the white building over there. That's a place called Tottington. That's where my dad lives. If you go way further on down there, that's where I used to live as a kid. That's a place called Ratcliffe. And inside all the clouds there, you can't see at the moment, but that's where the centre of Manchester is. I'm hoping that when I get to the top, it's cleared up a little bit more, and I can get a bit more of a view, and I can show you stuff like that a bit more. When I was on the drive up, you couldn't even see Holcombe Hill. It was all under Clough, so it has cleared a bit. And even just walking up, my vision's so much clearer to see where I've got to go now. Let's carry on to the top. I'm about halfway up now, I think. I don't know if you can see, but I've just walked up. That's the path that was on before. Down at the bottom, like I said, it's fairly steep. I have had to scramble in a couple of areas, but most of it I've managed on foot. The next bit seems possibly steeper. Pretty much at the top now. I don't know if you'll be able to see it over there, but Manchester is just about starting to peek out through the clouds. It is clearing up. If I don't get the best of views now, which let's face it, it's not a bad view, is it? I should definitely, on the way back down, I think, get them. Been scouting potential camping spots on the way up. I've never actually camped on Holcombe Hill, despite how long we used to live up here. There's a reason that I walked the way that I've just walked. It has historical significance to the tower. So the hill that I'm on, Holcombe Hill, wasn't always called this, and technically still isn't. It's actually called Harkles or Harkleys, however you pronounce it, hill. And I don't know where Holcombe Hill came from, but it's a name that everybody calls it. And I'm sure somebody will enlighten me in the comments, but yeah, it is now referred to as Holcombe Hill by most people. The tower itself, which is there, was erected in memory of Robert Peel, who was Prime Minister. He also founded the modern day police force in the UK. So he had a lot of historical significance. It was finished in 1852, which was 2 years after Sir Robert Peel's death. And on the actual front of the tower, actually says the word Peel. So over there, that's the centre of Bury. That's where Robert Peel was born. And in the centre of Bury, there's a church called St Andrew's Church. And St Andrew's Church is actually another monument which actually has a statue with Robert Peel on it. The tower points directly at it. Rumour has it, I don't know how true it is, and whether or not it's a bit of a old wives' tale, but there actually could be used as signal towers from the tops, where if you was to light fire on the top of that, you'd actually be able to see it at Darwin Tower. How true that is anybody's guess. For For me, I think it's probably not. But yeah, it's a really cool place. It's definitely worth a look. And if you come at a time when the flag's up, you can actually go inside the tower, right up to the top, and the views from up there are stunning. Obviously, it's not your conventional beautiful view. There is a lot of buildings, but for me, I don't mind that. What I'll do now, I'll take you to have a little bit of a look of the tower. It's not open, so I can't take you in. And I'll take you to see the other dig site, which is the other part of why my walk was significant. Because the tower was actually built from limestone, dug out of this very hill. So as you can see, that's the secondary dig site. If I stand at the other side of it, it's a building genius in a way. Rather than in the 1900s when we didn't have the materials and the ways of carting things about like we do now, what they've actually made is they've mined the materials out literally right next to the tower. So some of you may have seen my first solo wild camping video. If you've not, go and give it a watch. Or not, it's up to you. I'm not going to make anybody do anything they don't want to. But in that video, I discussed me not particularly enjoying solo wild camping. I don't particularly like being on my own. I don't like that having no conversation, not being able to enjoy this with other people. Now, when it comes to hiking, I'm very much the opposite. I quite like that bit of solitude when I'm hiking and that ability to clear my mind. Now, my mind's a scary place. I don't like being alone with it very often. But when I go somewhere like this, it's easy to just switch off. And it's easier to do that on your own. And for me, it's the best thing about hiking midweek and coming at this sort of time, because I've seen about 3 people since I set off up, and it's fascinating to me that nobody's out. It's brilliant. It reminds me of the pre-COVID days, and don't get me wrong, COVID did a wonderful thing for getting people out of the houses and getting people out hiking, and the world should do more of this because we've got all this beauty that people fought for to try and get us access to. But sometimes it really does me head in when I'm trying to get a nice peaceful hike and it's a Saturday or a Sunday and there's 70 people up at the top of every hill. There's other people's kids running around screaming and shouting. There's litter everywhere. There's other people's dogs barking. You can't get any decent footage. You can't get any nice photos and it drives me mad. So coming midweek, it's just lovely. It's great just being on my own. It's lovely being able to take my own pace, do things as I want, potentially scout out some camping spots and just enjoy the world. I don't know who you are, but whoever's put these rocks in here, you are an absolute legend. Like I said, I've been coming up to this hill for probably 35 years. And every time you get to that bit, you have to jump over it. And it's thick, smelly, horrible bulk of the water down at the bottom of that. And I've seen numerous people fall on it. Luckily, touch wood, never myself. But yeah, it's a nice little touch adding them rocks so people can get across. Although I did just nearly fall flat. I was on the wrong side of the camera then. So I'm now at the summit of what I was always told was Holcombe Hill. Holcombe Hill is just that way. That way. That's where you should be able to see Peel Tower still. And as growing up, we were always taught that that was Holcombe Hill, this was Harkle's Hill. I don't know if that's ever been officially changed, but I'm at the summit of what is Harkle's Hill. I'm actually sat on top of the cairn stones at the moment. I'll add a stone to that in a minute, and I'm going to show you the wonderful views, because you get 360 views from the top of here. I'm about halfway to Pilgrim's Cross. I think I've actually been there before, looking at the route that it's taking me, but we'll see. But I'm still on paths that are quite well known to me at the moment, so that's good. It's fairly dry, which surprises me, because usually between this peak and where Peel Tower is, it's usually like walking through a bog, so that's promising. Still scouting some wild camping spots, because it's somewhere I really, really want to do, because it's got so much history to me and so much about my childhood, and it's like I said, it's somewhere I've never camped, which is bizarre. Even when I lived up here, I'd get in the car somewhere and go and camp, and I never ever came up here. I've stayed up here awake all night and watched the sunset and the sunrise and filmed that, but never actually camped. So definitely on the cards. It's just finding a spot that I want, because it is quite populated up here. There's a house that is literally, you could probably spit on it from Peel Tower, it's that close to it. And just down this way, just at the bottom of where I am, I'm probably not even half a mile away from Peel Tower where I am, or maybe about half a mile. But just below me, about 200 yards below me at the base of this hill, there's also another house, and I know that there's actually a road that runs across. It's like a really dug up farm road, and I know that because I used to ride my bike that way. And I know there's a good 3 or 4 other houses that are further down. So I think if I was to find a camping spot, I'd want to go more towards the back of me. But the issue with there is that's where the army barracks are. It's where the old Krypton Factor course is, and they do a lot of rifle practices and stuff, so I'd have to be mindful of red flags and stuff if I was doing that. But I will find a spot, and I will get a camp up here, and that's if it's the last thing I do. So that being said, I'll show you some views now, and then we're off in that direction. That's our next hill that we've got to hit, and I think on top of that is where Pilgrim's Cross is. The helicopter, which brilliantly has just appeared at the right time. It's been coming backwards and forwards for about at least the last half hour. You can actually see at the bottom of it. So I was just speaking to another man. He's doing the same route I am, but the opposite way around. And he was telling me that they're bringing rocks up to the top from the army barracks. Now I couldn't see the winch on it before, but I'm a lot closer to where the helicopter is now, and you can actually see the winch. I'm hoping it'll show up on camera. But you can see the winch at the bottom of the rocks underneath. So I don't know where they're taking it, possibly to Pilgrim's Cross, because I'm still not quite there yet. So we will see. But yeah, bit of extra entertainment. Fills in nicely after day one yesterday at Barton Airport, I suppose. So if we get any closer footage of the helicopter, I'll include some helicopter footage in there as well. So, turns out I was a lot closer to Pilgrim's Cross than I thought I was. So I was actually, when I filmed the last bit, just on them stones there. So, I hadn't even seen it. Like I said, it's not somewhere I've been before. I thought I possibly had, but I'd actually only been to the top of the hill where you can see Holcombe Hill poking out the top. I'd never actually ventured this far over. There does seem to be a lot more. I need to come and explore it more at some stage. But yeah, the cross is not a cross. I've learnt something from the cross. So apparently Holcombe Hill's name derives from Holcombe Forest. Who'd have thought it? Why didn't I think of that? Yeah, it turns out that's where it's from. Like I said before, this is where the military barracks are. You can see the flags are down, so I can enter. I'm not going forward anyway into it, but I am going through where they do the practice firing. I really like the footpath sign. It tells me exactly where everything is. If you come up and get lost, I'm sure that's going to be really useful to you. Don't think I'll be taking that footpath. As you can see from the footpaths, it was famous last words, what I said before about not being caught in the mud and how dry it was, because down this side, very wet, very boggy. Taking a little bit of a detour at the moment. Luckily, I've just watched some dog walkers come up, so I'm kind of following the path that they've just took. Hopefully, should be able to get you a bit more helicopter footage from this area as well. It seems to be a lot closer from this side, which makes sense, seeing as it's coming from the barracks, and I'm at the barracks side. I've well and truly jinxed myself with everything. So I mentioned about liking the solitude, camping during the week, coming on my own. And then coming up this way behind me, there's a huge group of, there must be 40 people. So yeah, madness. Since I said that, I've done nothing but bump into people. But it's still better than weekend when it's proper rammed. This has been Holcombe Hill, or Harkles Hill, whichever way you perceive it. We've done Pilgrim's Cross and Peel Tower. It's another short one, only day 2. I think it'll probably, after all my detours and moving backwards and forwards from filming, be probably 4.5 miles. But I just want to emphasise, like I always do, trying to inspire people. And it's not the length of your walk. You don't have to be doing 10 miles, 20 miles, 15 miles. You just need to get out. Go somewhere that sparks your interest and inspires you. And just make sure you want to be outside, want to exercise and want to enjoy life. And this is, if you do it the way that I mapped it out, little over a 3-mile walk, and you do 3 separate hills, 2 points of interest, 2 separate cairnstones. You get to see the army barracks, which are not that clear today. You get all the views over Manchester. If you come to this side, if you look, it's a lot clearer. There's actually nicer views at this side. And even over here, that's all over Bolton. That direction that you can see there, that's Winter Hill. It's a beautiful little walk and a beautiful little round trip. And like I said, you can do it in as little as 3 miles. You don't even need to do everything I've done. Hike up just to like the Peel Tower and back down. It's probably 1.5 miles, maybe even just 1 mile as a round trip. But it gets you out, gets you some fresh air, and makes you enjoy life. Even today, I don't know if it's these barefoot shoes or if it's because I've not been getting out, but it could even just be that I climbed up that stupid steep hill. But I got to Peel Tower and my back was crippling me. And it's still twinging a little bit now. And I second guessed whether or not I wanted to do the 3 remaining miles of this walk. And I pushed myself and I thought, you know what, yeah I do. Because I wanted to go and see something I'd not seen before. That's what I set out to do. I wasn't judging the fact I had to do 2 extra hills, because I'd not planned for that. But I did it. And I'm out. And you know what, I've really loved it. I've got a smile on my face again. And I didn't even want to come out today. The reason I set myself this challenge this week was because I'm not getting out. Like I've said before, my mental health took over. I'm not going into that because I know not too many people like them discussions, but it has. And that's meant I don't want to leave the house. I don't want to get up in the morning. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to continue eating healthy. And that's all a battle. But by setting myself this challenge, I can't fail. I can't see myself fail. So I've set myself the challenge that I want to be out these 7 days. And I'll do it if it kills me. And I'm not saying I'm going to do all 7 walks I've planned, because if I'm too sore or I can't do it, then I'll do something shorter. But I'll still get out, still going to do it. And look at it. I could have sat at home all day today, watching TV, eating packets of crisp and bars of chocolate and sweets and other rubbish. Or I could come out with a bottle of water and this. And I tell you what, right, if you'd asked me this morning which I prefer, I'd have been all up in them bags of crisp. If you ask me now, with half a mile left to go to the car, why would I even want them crisps? So, that being said, I can't think of a better time to finish day 2. Thank you again for joining me. I'm going to post one long video, hopefully, unless it's too long, with all 7 days in it. Or if you prefer to see it broken down, I'm going to do 7 separate weeks, posting 1 extra video a week with each one, starting with day 1, ending with day 7. The choice is yours, but thank you for joining me again. Please consider subscribing, drop me a like, drop a comment down below, and let me know. What do you do when you don't want to get up in the morning? Or if you don't want to get out of bed, what do you do? With that being said and done, as you can see, I'm back at Peel Tower. I've just got a short walk down, it's the roadway, so I'll spare you that bit. I'm here with Steffel again. I've already done, so far I did Barton Airport, did a circular around that, and I did up Holcombe Hill or Harkle's Hill, whatever you call it, yesterday, and over past Peel Tower and up to Pilgrim's Cross. So once again, a little bit easier, a bit flat today, but still going to get some miles in. Currently on the lookout for deer, which is the whole reason that we've come to Dunham Massey. We've been walking for about 25 minutes now. Usually by this point we'll seen 10, 20. I've not seen one. We have, however, found somebody's little den in the forest, or in the woodland I suppose. It's quite cool, so I'll show you that. I didn't know people was actually allowed to make them here, which is quite cool. I'm going to see if I can get inside it. Just about. It's definitely not made for somebody my size, but yeah, it's a cool little den. It's great, the construction, how they've done it with just the timbers. But yeah, it's really cool. I presume people who run the park or the rangers build these, that it's for kids to play in. But yeah, cool little structure. Steffel appears to have wandered off and left me. I don't think she wants to play in the little dens like a big kid. She's clearly more grown up than I am. As you can see, she's way down there, but she's waiting for me at least, so we'll catch her up, and if I find any deers I'll bring you back. So we've spotted some deers, including a white one. Let's see if I can get them on camera for you. Absolutely beautiful. That is absolutely stunning. I didn't even know they existed. So I just got a bit of footage of the deers. I've never ever seen a white deer before. Me and Steph were just saying I didn't even know one existed. Really, really cool and very majestic sight. So let me know, drop me a comment. Did you know white deers existed? Have you ever seen one before? If not, come to Dunham Massey, because apparently they've got one. Because there's not a great deal of deer to show, I've got Steph currently looking up facts about Dunham Massey for you. So in case you don't know what it is, it's quite a large deer park in Trafford. They have, well, a lot of deer here, but not that you believe it based off the footage from today. They have quite big areas. I'll show you one of the signs. They've got signs like these. Basically, inside them areas and over there, you're not allowed access to it, but the deer do wander around and they will come up to you and walk past you. So Steph's just informed me that old George Booth, the first baronet, was the person who originally built the manor house, which is situated within the grounds, and he didn't manage to finish that before he died. His grandson then took over, and because of debts, all the trees that you see that are planted here were all planted to be used for timber. Obviously, that's not the use from today. During the First World War, the building was used as a military hospital. It's not getting any deers, apparently. Not today. So if you choose to come and visit, there's a few different places you can park. You can park inside the main site, which is £10 per person, which includes access to the gardens. Or if you're a cheapskate like me and you come fairly regular, you can park literally just outside for free. I think what they need to do, because I do understand the costings of it and I do understand that it goes back towards the park, is maybe lower that cost. If they could knock it down to £5 a person, a lot more people I feel would come and pay to park, because they know that the money would get invested back into it. But even when we came today, £20 for us to come and walk around the park that I know we can walk around for free was a bit steep. So we've parked outside. We will put some money back in. We're going to get some refreshments, some ice cream, possibly something to eat while we're here. Maybe make a small donation, but I wasn't paying £20 just to park my car. If you're coming visiting, I'd advise you do the same. And I'm sorry if you're from Dunham Massey and you're listening, but you're a rip-off at £10 a person. It's just too steep, especially on days like today where there isn't actually any deer about. And I'm not saying that you should be forcing the deer to come out, because it's great that they wander around in the natural habitats and they're all wild, but if you don't see any, it's £10 to walk around a average at best park. Luckily we've walked around it a few times and we know the majority of the routes round, because the route that we did have planned, which was through all this foresty area here, is blocked off. And there's a sign outside the route saying the route's closed, so my Garmin watch is currently going nuts on my wrist. But it's one of them things, like I said, you make the most of your situations. So we'll continue on, we'll wing it a little bit, we'll keep you involved throughout. Steffel seems currently very excited about the fact that our route's been cut short. She's now fixating on the fact that I can see an ice cream van there, and she knows that apparently they do very, very good ice cream on the inside. So I've just been informed that that's now where we're heading. So we've gone from looking for deers to making ourselves fatter. Say hello, Steph.
Hello, Steph. I like the windows.
It's a beautiful old building, isn't it? Do better if I went over and I could actually see it. There we go. It's like Dylan footage, this. Filming, making myself look intellectual. We've stopped off at the restaurant that's on site. It's called The Stables. Going to get a jacket potato each and a drink, and then we'll continue with the walk. We think we've found a route through to get us back to where we should have been, so hopefully we'll complete what was originally planned. So we've just finished eating. The food was actually quite good. We got jacket potatoes each. The potatoes had a strange taste to them, but it was a nice strange taste, so can't place what it was, but no, good job to them. Food, I don't think was overly badly priced. It was £22. £22 for the two of us for 2 jackets and 2 cans, but be mindful if you come that the cans are £2.50 each, so that was a bit of a shock to the system. But yeah, all in all, not a bad meal. So yeah, much prefer this side, very much off the beaten path. There is lightly a trail goes through, you can tell where people do walk, but yeah, it's much nicer than the really heavily paved areas on the inside. It's been an interesting day today. I really wanted to showcase how much I quite like Dunham Massey when I come, and it's probably been the worst visit we've done. We've not seen a great deal. The car park there was extortionately priced, and the food was good and reasonably priced. It's been a 50-50 day. It would have been nice to get a bit more footage to sort of show the beauty of the place and, you know, the days. That would have been nice, but you don't always get every day perfect, and at least we're out, at least the sun's shining again. You know, it's one of them things. Like I said yesterday, you don't always get that perfect walk, but as long as you're getting out and you're doing stuff, then that's what matters, isn't it? It still beats being sat in front of my TV, so I need to stop being a grumpy old man and moaning and just get on with it and enjoy it. But that being said and done, I think...
Oh, it's your dog.
Steph thought she saw a deer. It's not, it's a dog. So anyway, I'm gonna end it on that note. No idea where we are. Somewhere in the Peak District, somewhere just outside of Glossop. It's a very, very short route. Like I said, it was a bit pushed for time. It's quite late in the day now. I think about 2.5-3 miles we've got in today. Maybe not even that. I know we've just got a tip trailer and it said 800 yards. So potentially going to be adding a bit on. I'm just making a bit as we go along. We have flowing water, but I don't think I've actually brought the water filter. So I still can't film the water filter video that I want to, which is a shame, but we will get to that one day. I'm out with Dylan anyway today. We're going to continue up. Any points of interest we'll share with you, get a bit of footage of the waterfall, and we'll have a bit of a chat on the way down. I've got some exciting news that I need to share with you, and I'll be doing that a little bit later in the video. There should be a little bit of a scramble on this walk. I haven't yet seen it. We're about 400 metres up the 800 metres that it says it is. So we'll see what happens with that. It isn't a walk that we've planned. It's one that I just took off Google. I just downloaded the GPX file and imported it into Commute. So we'll see how good it is. Like I said, excited to see a waterfall, like a good waterfall. The stream is very nice. Lots and lots of lovely looking camping spots, but there's also plenty of signs about saying no camping in a house, like literally just at the end of this road. So as nice as, yeah, you wouldn't be camping here. may have found a bit of a scramble. So we got to the top. We was presuming it was up there, but it's looking like we actually have to cross the water now and go up this path over here. I don't know what kind of grade of scramble it'll be, but I'm guessing it's not even a grade 1. So, crossed the water and I didn't die, which is a rarity. To hit my least favourite thing in the world, as you all know, a bog. So, it's not so much of a scramble yet as a nice wet bog. But there's no midges, so we'll be all right, we can get around it. If Dylan falls in it, I'll film it. It's probably more likely I'll fall in, actually. And I've just said that and there's a load of midges just appeared. So Dylan's going to get bit to death. So we finally found what could be constituted as a bit of a scramble. It's not anything like when we did triffing, but I can definitely see how it is a scramble. The waterfall, you can just see peeking out at the top up there. So we're pretty much there. So we'll make our way through this. We'll film as much as we can. And if not, I'll bring you back at the waterfall. The path is a bit more scrambled than I thought it was going to be. It's still, I wouldn't even say a grade 1. Sorry, I'm on a bit of a cliff here. I'm going to show you. You all know that I don't like heights, so check this out. said at the start of the video that I had some exciting news. So those of you who followed me from the start know that I started on my phone. On this precise phone, with its broken screen, which I actually broke filming a video for you guys. While progressing through my learning of filming and learning to do YouTube and enjoying doing YouTube, which is something I didn't think I'd do, I bought new gear. So I've got numerous cameras, I've got numerous tripods, light stands, lights, microphones, you name it, I've got it. It all helps with capturing the beauty of what we've got out here, and it helps getting 4K footage out for you guys and for me to watch in the future. So while doing that, there's a few brands that I use. So one of them brands that I use is Kent and Faith. It's the people who I chose to buy lights from with my own money. I chose to buy tripods from with my own money, and it's the company that I chose to reach out to. I explained to them, I film YouTube videos, I showed them the growth that I've had in the channel over the past few months. I invited them to come and watch some of my videos. Well, I forgot that I got in touch with Kent and Faith, or K&N Concepts as they're also called, and they reached out to me about 3 weeks ago, something like that. Probably a bit longer than a month ago that I contacted. It was about a month before they contacted me, and I completely forgot. And they reached out to me and said they really enjoy my videos and my content, and they're really happy that I'm using their products and that I speak so highly of them, because they're a very good price and they're really, really good products. So we've been talking backwards and forwards, and I've managed to swing through them that they're going to send me some free products. So I'm starting off, they're going to send me some filters for the camera. So I'm going to learn all about using the filters. Hopefully it should improve some of the footage. So I've got some CPL filters and some ND filters coming. So hopefully I'm going to get a lot of cinematic stuff with the waterfalls. Like today, I'm going to get a lot more vibrant colours when I'm filming. And I'm going to do a full review of them. But it's going to be honest, because I've always said that I'll be honest. And if it's not a great product, then I'll say it's not. But from what I've seen of their product so far, I've got no doubt it will be good. Other thing that they're going to offer me is they said they're going to offer me an affiliate link. So I'm not quite sure how that works yet. We're still to and fro in how that's going to be. But it means that if any of you guys want any filming equipment, you can get it on the cheap. It also means that I might get a small little kickback if you do order anything. As things stand, everything I own from K&N Concepts is from my own pocket. I don't have anything that has been sent out to me for free yet. And I'll still continue to buy products from them. And I'll be open and honest with you guys of anything that has been sent to me for free prior to using it. And some bits I'll just use just while filming, and I might mention during that I captured it through this, and I might put in what camera settings I've used as well, because it helps you guys out too. But yeah, it's exciting news ahead. I'm not going to be a full corporate shill. I'm not going to be taking products from everybody who offers. I know I've had a sleeping bag in the past, and once again that was through me also being cheeky and requested that from another company. But as you can see, if you go back to my first ever wildcat video and my review of that sleeping bag, I was very open and honest about it. And the things that I didn't like, I did highlight. And I brought that to the company as well, because without that honest feedback, they can't improve on the products and what needs to be done. And don't get me wrong, it was a good sleeping bag, but there was some niggles. And it'll be the same with anything that I get from K&F. So if something comes through and it's got niggles and it's got things wrong with it, I may contact them first and let them know and see if they can make the improvements before sending it back out to me. Or alternatively, I'll just share it as a review. They've given me freedom to do that. They want me to be open and honest, and they've got the faith in their products that it's going to be good enough. So hopefully it's going to be a good partnership. Hopefully it should make some better footage and mean that I can create better content for you people. I'm not going to completely flood all my videos full of sponsored jargon and sponsored rubbish. I just want to sort of naturally filter it in, and I'll just let you guys know when I've used these things. This is potentially the best kept secret in the Peak District. It's somewhere I'd never heard of. Like I said, we wasn't supposed to be coming here today. We were supposed to be going to Gaddings Dam, and we got later in the day. I had some family stuff to deal with, and we found this short hike. It's literally a mile up from the car park at the bottom. We are parked further down the road, so it's a bit further for us. And based off what I can see on my Garmin map. Let's see if I can show you via my phone. I don't know if it'll work, but let me get it up. As you can probably see by the map, we've not done a very good job at following the route. We've kind of took our own path. We've gone through a bit more of the scrambly areas, whereas the path wants us to sort of be a bit more up the waterfall. But it's made for better footage, and it's meant we can film the bits that we want. So we've added quite a lot on because we've been zigzagging all the way up, but it's just one of those things. But it's a fantastic little waterfall. The waterfall is called Middle Black Clough Waterfall. It's just outside of Glossop. You walk up a little stream, there's a car park down at the bottom. It's quite an easy walk, and then the last probably 150 yards, maybe 200 yards, it's a bit of a scramble. I wouldn't say it's even as hard as a grade 1, although if you want to get down the bottom where we are, it's a bit of a different story. That's what we've just scrambled down to get to waterfall, but I didn't want to come up here and not get to it. Getting up there for me, it's going to be another matter. I was speaking to a man at the top when Dylan came down and got some footage earlier, and he was asking how he's got down here. So I showed him the route, and I said I probably can't get down here because I'm too old, fat, and got bad knees. I said maybe 25 years ago I'd have managed it, but me doing this channel and me being on YouTube and me trying to get out every day is about challenging myself, and it's about inspiring others and showing you that it doesn't matter what things and what roadblocks you've got in the way. It doesn't matter what's there. There's always a way of overcoming it. I am too old, I am too fat, and I am too out of shape, and I do have bad knees, but I got down here even though I said I couldn't. Like I said, I may need airlifting back up by probably 3 helicopters, but I'll get back up, I'll get back to my car, and tomorrow I'll film day 5. I'm not going to film us going back down. I think this, for me, has to be the perfect place to end the video. We're at Alderley Edge. We're going seeing a few mines and some caves, stuff like that. Once again, somewhere I've not been before, but in the spirit of keeping a bit of variety, today's hike is in a forest. As far as parking, if you was to come here, there's a few different options. So there is a car park here. This isn't where we are. We've chose to park in the main National Trust car park. £5 parking for 4 hours, and I think it was £7 for the day. So we've paid the £5. We'll be round in less than 4 hours. Like I said the other day with the Dunham Massey one, if the price there was cheaper, I'd have paid there as well. I don't mind putting a little bit in because it helps for the upkeep and it keeps everywhere looking nice. It helps pay for staff that work here that maintain it. So it's money well spent. Out with Crabman again. We're at Alderley Edge. We're going seeing a few mines and some caves. Once again, somewhere I've not been before, but in the spirit of keeping a bit of variety, today's hike is in a forest. As far as parking, if you was to come here, there's a few different options. So there is a car park here. This isn't where we are. We've chose to park in the main National Trust car park. £5 parking for 4 hours, and I think it was £7 for the day. So we've paid the £5. We'll be round in less than 4 hours. Well, that's a good start. We're about 200 yards in and we already took the wrong path. For some reason, my watch didn't buzz, so we'll see what happens. But we will make our way around like usual. My route will probably be zigzagged in and out of everywhere. We was walking through, we found a little cave, so we went to explore, and there were 2 lovely ladies sat in there that work for the National Trust, and one of them's got some lights on, and she took us for a bit of a walk into the Hobbit's hole. I wasn't allowed to film in there, unfortunately, but if you come down, it's a really cool little experience. And apparently it was where somebody was digging out by hand looking for ore and didn't find any, so he got so far and then gave up. But yeah, it was quite a cool little cave. So onwards and upwards. We're now actually on the path that we should be on, so fingers crossed we'll have something that we can actually show you soon. This is new pond that they're digging out. It's part of the Woodland project, so they've got a bit of a thing that you can scan on the signposts. So what they want is when people are coming through and they're taking pictures, to just share the pictures online so they can see how the trees are affected, any movement in them or deforestation or anything like that, or the bits that are coming down or how they're growing, things like that. It'll also be to track wildlife and the new ponds, make sure that the habitat for them is perfect and that they're thriving. It's a really good idea. It's something that I've seen a couple of times this week, is these little scanning bits, and I think it's a really clever way of monitoring how the environment is thriving, because you can see through that pictures that progress throughout time. Quite like so far how they've done the paths here, so I don't know if you can see. If you're not very good at mapping, then it's quite good because you can follow them, but I like how they've done it, where they've just put the little bits of wood in the ground. It looks quite natural, so it's not taken away from the area, because what I find with a lot of places is they tend to put big concrete slabs in the way or stones throughout, and I think it ruins it to a degree, makes it more accessible, but it's not for me. So Dylan's just spotted our first mine entrance. It's got a sign on it saying about, obviously, if you want to go into the mines, you have to go through the caving club. The lady that we were speaking to before as part of that, she'd already explained that to us. It may be something that I potentially look at seeing if I can do in the future, but we'll see if I can put my big boy pants on for that, because I'm not so keen on enclosed spaces, and if it's got anywhere tight that's going to be pushing in against me, it'll be a no-go for me and I'll have to try and find my way back out. So we'll see what I can do, and obviously if I'm filming that, I'll have to look at what other filming equipment I can get, because obviously it's going to be very dark down there, and as much as I've got my filming lights, I don't know how good they're going to be in something that's that dark. Not made for us fat lads, that. So we've just done the edge. We didn't stop there, we just got a couple of clips. There were some kids up there smoking the devil's lettuce, so we just left them both to it. As you can see, the views are still incredible, and I've a little bit of footage as well about the paths. The paths are still really cool. They're still dead windy, cut up, they're all dug out of the rocks. Like I said, the ones there, you can barely tell there's a path. Just put a little bit of a wooden plank and just sort of fence it off, but it keeps them looking a little bit more natural. We're off down now. I think it's Stormy Point, what it's called, where we're going next. We found another little hidden cave, and it's got a little druid's well in it. So this hasn't actually appeared as a point of interest, but there's the cave. It's only a shallow little cave, that one. Had I brought my water filter, that's the water I'd have been drinking. You could probably drink it straight. We're just at our next point of interest. It's not Stormy Point. It's called the Hidden Rocket Outcrop Viewpoint. So I'll just bring you in and let you see where that is. Points of interest that you can see, there's certain ones that I know previous to being here. Obviously I've never been to Alderley Edge before, but the tower you can see in the middle with a little black bit on the top, that's Manchester Airport. If you go over to this side, The big tall building, as you can see, that's Manchester City Centre. So we're just getting to Stormy Point now. These rock formations alone are absolutely outstanding. As you can see, it looks like there's some kind of mine or something down there. Seem to be holding the rock up using all these pillars and these brick things. So they always say you shouldn't have favourites in this life, but out of the edges that I've seen here today, this is definitely the coolest, got most features, and definitely so far my favourite. And we're here on our own, which makes everything better. So that was Stormy Point. Crabman seemed to really enjoy that. We've just been there for a good half hour, 40 minutes with him running around like mad, looking at everything. So really good spot. Like I said, by far my favourite thing I've seen today, and it's been really good. I've really enjoyed today. We're now looking for a Druid Circle. So they shouldn't be too far away from where we are. My watch is going mad, so that means I've got to turn, I think. But yeah, let's see if we can find that. So my watch map reading skills once again are astounding, and I've took the wrong path again. But I found another path that's going to take us in the right general direction. Potentially, we may miss out the Druid Circle, but if we've missed it, we'll go back and find it. So yeah, well, I was very posh then. So yeah, we've gone past the Druid Circle, so we're going to go back for that. But in the meantime, Dylan's found more caves, so he's going having a little look, seeing what he can see. We've eventually found the Druid Circle. We took a bit of a detour randomly through the forest, just decided to just wing it a bit, and we've stumbled across it. So we just got to the abandoned mine in Dickens Wood, and this, I know I've just said it about the last one, maybe my new favourite spot. It's actually still got part of the old cart lines from the old mine cart, and they lead on to the entrance to the mine. So I'll take you down there now. Obviously the door's boarded up, like with the last mine entrance, but once again it's one of them, if you get in touch with the Miners Association, they can arrange trips in there for you. So we're now looking for Clough Wood stream crossing. So I don't know where that is, but we are going in the right direction. We've triple checked the map, so hopefully we'll get that. Hopefully it's going to be something exciting, but not got long left to go now. I think there's probably less than a mile to get back to the car. One last little hill, because we've been very up and down throughout the whole route that we had planned today. Found Clough Wood stream crossing. Dill's currently on it now. It's just a couple of boulders essentially. I don't know massively if this is something that's, if you're coming down here, is massively worth coming and seeing, but if you've got kids, it'd be quite cool. As you can see, the stream crossing literally consists of about 3 boulders. I am, however, seeing as we're over this end, going to take a little detour off our path. I've looked at my map and we can get up this way. My original map took us back off along the path we've just come from that way. So it makes sense for us to go up this way, and I'm intrigued what that rock formation is there, so I'm going to go and have a look. So this is apparently our path, although looking at it on camera it looks a lot better than it does in real life. So we're going to give it a go and wish us luck. I take that back. it is clearly a path. It's just been having that tree down, it looked like it wasn't accessible. On our way down now to Woodland waterfall, I didn't think it'd be there, but I can actually hear it, so that's pretty good. I have noticed by looking at things though, that the path that we've walked up has took us way higher than we need to be, because we're just about to do a big descent, which is annoying, but it's all extra fitness, isn't it? It's been another really good hike today, another good one. I always like coming somewhere new, especially when there's so much stuff to see as this. Really good place if you've got kids to bring them. I definitely recommend it. There's not been very much I can grumble about, and that's saying a lot because I'm a grumpy old man. But there's nothing left really to show you now, so I feel it's the perfect time to end it. So for this one, because we've left it so late, because we had a few things on today, doing Sale Waterpark. I've got Dylan with me today, again, and we've got the doggos. There's a few reasons that we're out so late. I had a few appointments I had to attend to this morning. I had some family stuff to deal with as well, so that's meant we've got out a bit late. I've not been feeling too good either, so I wasn't too sure whether or not I was going to get day 6 or not. But it's got a bit later on. I'm feeling a lot better than I was this morning, so I decided I'm getting out. The dogs needed to come out anyway, so we thought we'd bring them out anyway, and we thought we'll get day 6 in. So it also gives us the opportunity to test the Action 4 out in low light conditions. I have got the light with me. I'll show you the difference. So that's with the K&F Concepts light. I have got it set on warm at the moment, but I can move it to a light colour if need be. I do realise that I come from Towie at the minute with the orange glow, but it doesn't glare me as much that way. But for now, I feel the light conditions should probably be still enough for me to not need the light on, so that's what we'll go with for now. We have got a torch with us as well, just in case it gets dark. I get as much footage as we can, but this potentially is going to be a short one. So it is currently raining as well, which obviously hasn't helped with getting out for today. We've been waiting for the rain to dry up and it's not happened, so like I've said before, I can't see myself fail a challenge, so it's got to the point it was now or never. Either that I was coming out in pitch black and that wouldn't have created any footage. Getting a bit darker now, so the light's on, which is great, because what I've come to the realisation is it's very difficult walking with my light on because I can't actually see anything. Honestly, for the life of me, can't work out how, when we had to bail from our camp in Wales, I managed to get down. So what I've worked out I could do is if I walk like this, it's not too bad. I can see where I am. Obviously I'm not looking at the camera, which is a bit annoying, but at least I can still film. So I've just had a bit of a theory and a bit of a brainstorm. So we've just walked past the bloke who's fishing. He's got a big 2-man tent set up side at water, rod cast out. Couldn't hear a peep out of his tent. Even when the dogs went over and he had to shout the dogs back. They didn't disturb him, by the way, but they were close enough. Didn't hear a single peep. Now, how difficult would it be to get your rod licence, get your fishing permit, come out, pitch your tent with no bait on your line, cast your rod out, and just use it as an excuse to wild camp for the night. It's like a cheap campsite right next to a lake, and if anybody disturbs you, you can just say, "Sorry mate, I fell asleep." You can clearly see I'm fishing. You know, you could buy cheap gear, a cheap rod, so it won't matter if it gets nicked. I wonder if anybody's ever done it, or if anybody's ever thought about it. I think it's definitely food for thought, and I apologise if you're a fisherman and I've just rained on your parade, and obviously I've just encouraged people to go and camp out while you're trying to fish, but I don't fish. I tried it when I was a kid and it bored the brains out of me, so it's not something for me. I just had a thought then, and I just wonder, has anybody ever actually done it? So we've just remembered that really we shouldn't have walked around this route, because to get back to the car from this way, we're now stepping stones from the gate. Now, if I just turn my light off and I'll show you just how dark it actually is. It's not pitch black yet, but dark enough. And it will be very, very dark by the time we get there. We've probably got the last maybe 5 minutes of sunlight left, and then we're going to be in darkness. So I don't think it'll be black, because we have got the motorway nearby which has got the street lights on it, so you'll be able to see a bit through that. But yeah, it's going to be dark, so I'll do my best to film us going over the stepping stones. This light from K&F, to be fair, seems very, very good. It's a bit bright for going in my face. I need to find another solution for that, but I might see if there's a way I can put some sort of mesh filter or something over the front just to darken it off a little bit. Right, wait here, I'll cross over and then I'll film you. Come on, Max, go on, jump. What are you doing? Come on, knobhead. Come on, jump over. Go on, jump it. Good girl. Again. Go on, jump. See that? Two gangsters over him. So I need to film some kind of outro. Still can't see because of this light, so I'm going to keep it very brief. Thank you for joining us for our very, very, very short, very, very dark, with not much to see video. Mother's Day, so Steph didn't want anything too strenuous, but she wanted something with some nice views, and we're going to see the sea, and she preferably wanted Wales. So this ticked all the boxes when I found it. It's a hill I've not been up before. Like I said, I've done Great Orme, but I've never done this one. So behind me, just over there, that's the route up. Short and steep, but that's not where we're going first. There's apparently a beach further down where you get seals come on it. They don't come at this time of year, it's more October time, but we're going to go see where that is. And found another tiny little hill just here, and we're going to go summit that first, because why not? So what I just said about the seals was wrong, because I don't know if you can see, I will put some footage in after this, but there's actually seals playing in the water at the bay, which is quite cool. So Steph and Daisy have decided not to join me on the first peak that we're doing. I'm literally at it now, so just climbing up. But they've decided not to join me. They're too busy watching the seals, and who blames them? It's cool to look at. I'd never seen a wild seal until today. I've made it to the top. It was literally 2 minutes of a walk, well, a bit of a scramble, but it wasn't too bad to get up. There's a little short trail through it. It's not the widest of ledges, but it's wide enough to walk on. But yeah, it's nice up here. I like the fact that as much as there is loads of people about this, 2 other people on this hill and they're over the back of that and I can't even see them. So yeah, it gives me that bit of solitude that I like. I knew it'd be busier today anyway because it's weekend and we all know what happens on weekends. Everybody comes out and to be honest, I've said it before, it's nice to see. So I've just found this lovely little seated bit. So I'm going to just chill out for myself and enjoy the views for a minute. I'll bring you with me for that bit. I've talked this week a little bit about my mental health, but we know I don't go too much into that these days. I know it's not videos that many of my subscribers want to watch, but it is a part of my life and it's something that I still want to raise. And I always said that I pre-warn you if I was going to do videos around that. So what I'm going to do is, I've noticed while I've been editing down my footage, because obviously we're doing 7 days worth of hikes, obviously I've got quite a lot of footage. I think up to now I've edited close to 700 or 800 clips, maybe more than that, and I've still got another day. In fact, it is more than that, probably closer to 800 and 900 clips. So quite a lot, as you can imagine. So I've been editing every day just to sort of keep on top of the workload, but I am currently 3 days behind, but I'll still have a video out by Tuesday. But I've digressed anyway. So while I've been editing down, I've realised how much of my bipolar I'm seeing in my footage at the minute. So as I've stated, I'm currently not in work at the minute. I still have my job, but there's stuff going on that means I'm not there. And due to that, obviously, my bipolar's affected. So usually I'm quite good at controlling it and suppressing it, whereas what I have noticed in a lot of my clips is elements of it. Now, you guys don't see that bit because these are all the bits that I edit out. And I've got probably 200 clips that haven't even made it to the final edits just because of it. And numerous clips that are cut short just due to how it affects me. So those who don't know, when I go into relapse, I struggle with my speech. So I'll become more slurred, I'll stutter a lot, I forget what I'm trying to say. I also tend to swear a lot more because I get really frustrated with myself because my brain's processing the words that I want to say. So in my head, I'm saying what I want to say, but trying to get that cognitive function from my brain to my mouth is where I struggle. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a video just around that. So I'll put it in the title so those who don't want to watch it don't. But for those who do struggle with stuff and sort of want to see that the world isn't all rosy, which is what I've always said I want to show, I want to show you the struggles that I have day to day with it, and I think this really highlights it. So I'm going to do just a short video, and it'll be probably quite funny for some of you, but it's just going to have lots of swearing in it, but I'll probably have to bleep that out because of YouTube. But it's going to have all the little bits in that normally don't make it to your normal videos. And like I said, if you don't want to watch it because you're not into the mental health side, I get that that's not what the channel's fully about, and I get that's not why a lot of people are here. But for anybody who's a bit more open-minded or who is struggling, just have a watch, see that behind this smile there is a struggle, and see what you make of it. But don't send me your love and all your thoughts and stuff like that. I cope with it in my own way. It's one of them things. So now I suppose the best trek back down and find out where them two are. I think they're probably still watching seals. Get a bite of something to eat. We've just got a meal deal for today, and then from that hopefully get up the next hill, and I'll bring you along for that. The path down this way is a lot easier than what I came up. I feel like it's actually hikeable, this bit. It's scary for somebody who's got a fear of heights like myself, but like I said, this week it's been about pushing myself and pushing my limits and challenging myself, and things like this sort of get my back up a little bit, then all the better, I suppose. But yeah, it's quite steep off the end of it, I'll show you. But at least it'd be falling into water, I suppose. I won't fancy swimming in it. It looks a long way to shore, but I suppose it's better than landing on the rocks. Just started up the trail to Little Orme. No doubt in about the next 5 minutes I'll be blowing, but let's see. I've already done one little hill. It's only a tiny one, so let's get up it and let's show you some nice views. We're halfway up, we've hit what's called Quarry Head, so it's one of the points of interest. As you can see, got part of the old mill, you can see a bit of the quarry in the background, some of the rocks. So it's quite a steep climb up to this bit, well, steep hike. So we're going to now come round on this side. I'm going to follow right over the tops of the hills. There's 2 hills up there and come back down the other side. The walk from here isn't quite as steep, so it's a bit more mellow. So hopefully I won't be blowing as much coming up. But so far so good, absolutely spectacular little hill. The views, like I've said, are absolutely incredible. Definitely so far worth a visit. And the main thing is, for a weekend, I've probably seen about 50 people on Mother's Day, which isn't bad. Let's see if I can show you. This is what we've just come up, and this is where we're going now. So it'll take us round and over the top of the hills. It should be a bit more of a gradual hill, this than the one that we've already done. So hopefully it should be a nice easy walk. What have you got for lunch, Steffel?
A sandwich.
What sandwich have you got?
A steak and balsamic onions.
Very nice. I've got co-op chicken and stuffing. Lunch of kings. Also, because I have to respect my heritage, and I apologise, Dad, but I've had to buy store-bought ones. I've got some Welsh cakes for afterwards. I'm obviously not eating 6 of them though. Or am I? So, as is customary, because it's disgusting watching people eat on camera, I'll eat my butty off camera and I'll bring you back when we're done. I got caught up filming and just generally looking at the beauty that is this place. I should actually be on top of this at the minute. So I'm currently working my way around. I am now completely flying solo. Steph and Daisy have gone that way. There's nobody else up on top of the hill. They're going to make their way around over the tops that way and back down, which is the way I'm going to come back. But I'm going, like I said, in through this valley here. I'm going to go up to the tops. There's 2 little hills up there. I think there's a trig point at the top as well, which I'm going to bag. And then I'll come back down that way, and they're going to watch the seals down at the bottom. It's very, very windy now. I've just come over the top of that ridge. I have found my trig point at the top of that hill, and don't know if you can see over there, but that's the Great Orme. That's where I've done previously, and that's all landed now. Been like a little bit of a valley here between 4 little peaks, and there's absolutely 0 wind, considering what I was just in, because I had quite heavy gusts a minute ago. It's almost eerie and surreal. It's amazing finding somewhere that on a Sunday I can hike on my own with nobody here. It's lovely. Even if I did forget my hiking boots and I'm in my day-to-day barefoot shoes. But to be fair to them, they've held up. Just about to get to the trig now. Absolutely phenomenal, the view from up here. I'll do a 360 for you in a minute. But wow, Steph should have pushed herself on. This is amazing. Little Orme in the bag. Check this out. Top of Little Orme. As you can see, Great Orme in the background. Llandudno there. Well worth the visit. Out of all the hikes I've done this week, definitely saved the best till last. This down here, that's that first little peak that I climbed when we first got here. Looks really insignificant from up here, and if I turn around, I'm actually quite a lot further down from where I've been. It looks tiny. It was quite steep, but to be fair, it only took a couple of minutes to get up. But that off there, the views off there were incredible. It's quite narrow, but yeah, really good views. But yeah, nothing compared to the views that I got right up at the tops. Like I said before, absolutely phenomenal place. So So I don't know if you can see, just in the distance, right down there, sat on the edge of a cliff because she's a lunatic. That's Steffel, and Daisy behind her, she's actually waving. I don't know if you can see it. So as you know, I always like to try and finish with a bit of a view, and what better view than what we've got here. So this is day 7 in the bag. Going to enjoy the last probably mile back down to the car but myself. Like I said, Steffel and Daisy are already down, so it's a bit of solitude for me. And yeah, once again, thank you for joining me. All 7 days done. I've had moments where I didn't think I'd complete it, but I have. It's done. 7 days, and I'm even contemplating doing an 8th tomorrow, but that'll probably not filmed. But yeah, absolutely lovely place, and it's been an absolute pleasure to finish on this hill. It has been stunning, and the weather, as you can see, has been equally as stunning. Absolutely great day. Been the best day I've had in a very, very long time. Thank you for joining me on this adventure, and if you've managed a full-length video, good for you, because that's a long video. And if you enjoyed the video, give me a like, give me a subscribe, drop me a comment. Is this somewhere you've been before? Or is this somewhere you'd like to come in the future? For me, I just think it's such a magical place. And yeah, thank you for joining me. I will catch you in the next one.